If you're using Go HighLevel, you need to stop and listen. HighLevel just leveled up, and it's critically important that you understand how these features work and how to add them to your agency. Else, your competitors will have a better product than you. Plus, these are super valuable for your clients. My name is Altus, and I have my own AI agency where we use Go HighLevel, my own school group where we're actually adding all these new features and then selling them as products. Now, in this video, we're going to go through one of those. And of course, there's going to be free stuff at the end. There's going to be free unlimited high level at the end. All you need to do is take a couple of minutes and watch the entire video and just take it, implement it in your agency. So let's get into this very exciting video. Thank goodness, high level, you have updated the workflow builder, and it is amazing. And in this video, I'm going to show you 8 functions from in there that you should know. And at the end, I'm going to give you an awesome bonus. Hint, it's unlimited free high level accounts when you join the awesome community. And I'm going to give you the link later on. But let's go through this workflow builder. It's about time. It's amazing. It's exciting. It makes things really easy and a lot faster for you and for your clients if they're going to do workflows themselves. So workflow builder on the website, on the support documents, it's in there, all the how-tos in there if you want to go read it. But the workflow builder it's pretty much a canvas revamp. So nothing really special, just the back end that changes the front end for us a little bit. But some little greatness in it, and it makes it obviously look like N8N. You know, I love N8N. You know, I think it's amazing, and the fact that we can do a lot of functionality in the UI that we're doing here makes it really easy to then carry over into high level. I'm going to go through all of those things with you. So another great video. So let's get started into how to get this set up. So to enable it, super easy. So we're going to come in here into your workflows, and doesn't matter if you already have workflows, want to create a new workflow, it's super easy, and it's just a matter of fact of coming in, you go edit your workflows, this one in here. This is super great if you're going to build out big workflows, because the annoying part is so annoying if you have workflows like this. I don't even know if you can see it on the screen. High level totally freaks out with it, but it's a 4-part sequence that then goes off and splits off, and it backwards and forwards and links up, and this is a really cool WhatsApp automation in here that pretty much books people on autopilot. It's totally insane. It handles a bunch of objections. It's a really great workflow, but it's really hard to keep track of it. Now, a workflow builder, to change it, is just right here on the top. Just need to move this one a little bit in here. It's up here on the right hand side, and you can convert any workflow to this, or you can create a new workflow and start from it. But standard builder, and this is the cool part, we're going to go to advanced builder in here. So in short, visually, it is all the old workflow that pretty much work top to bottom, and it was static. This is a left to right, works the same as N8N. And pretty much N8N, the reason or the way it works is inputs from your left hand side of your screen, editing on the right hand side, output on the middle, and output goes for the right. And that's just kind of the very much same in here. And as you can see, it's really awesome in here. So it looks a lot easier. It looks a lot cleaner. It really builds easy. And the best part is you can obviously drag, drop, and through here, hold down spacebar, by the way. We'll go through that soon. But you can see this is just a lot easier to see, and it's a lot less messy. And the fact that it uses the grid lines rather than right or left across. If I want to follow that line, you can see. And it still has all the same functionality and modules. It just looks a little bit different. But yeah, this is great. Okay, so spacebar if you want to go sideways, and zoom in. So I'm going to go through a couple of quick little options, but this is just can show you how to convert a big one in it. And we'll look at function number 1. And I'm just going to go back out and we're going to create a new workflow from the start. So we'll just go create one from the a recipe, and I'll show you what I mean with that. So if you go create a new workflow, so I start from scratch. I know we're going to start from a selected template. It used to be called recipes and now it's templates. Let's do one called email. And we're just going to say, choose this template, and it's going to go through. So let's start with function feature number 1. So our first function is going to be that drag and drop. Now, the real function around this advanced workflow builder is to make it look easier and have better functionality. And this is the big thing in here. If I want to space these out, like you see, if I could get really big, you weren't able to drag and drop this across and move it. Now, this is what I mean here. This can make it look any way you want. So if you're not familiar with N8N, you can just drag them like this, and you can make workflows in like this. Have to stay standard. This kind of comes from make.com as well, where we did things like this in here. So just move over here, move this one in here, move this one here. So you can really change it up as the flow as you need to, for example. So even if we zoom out, I'm going to bring these more up here, or so we have all our timings in the top, all the actions down the bottom. So it really makes it a lot easier to sort out, so you can keep track of your workflows as they go in and go out. So drag and drop, easiest option in here. If we want to have this far out, move it into that side. This is really good. Okay, and you can do this, select the couple, and we drag and drop this entire section. So drag, drop, awesome feature. Rearrange it as much as you want. I mean, it's totally, there's some pretty cool ones. Some people like to flow up, down to the left, like this, or to the right, and then start going some other functions to keep track of it. Keep going to the left in here, and then go out sideways, for example. Yeah, it just makes it look super awesome and easy, and that goes together with function number 2. So number 2 is going to be sticky notes. Now let me move my head out of the way in here. And again, this kind of comes over from N8N, and it just makes it visually more appealing and more understandable. It's really, really, really awesome. And you should use your sticky notes and your comments. So for example, again, I have this workflow in here. Now this might be day 1 stuff. You might add some more triggers or tags to it. And just to help you sort it through, there's a very bad example of this, really. You can add colorful sticky notes to remind you to have it a better sorting of things. And again, just to make it more visually appealing. Plus, if you're going to give this workflow to other people, they also need to have a bit more of an understanding to it. Now, sticky notes is here on the side. Select the cool color. You know, we like the old blue in here. Put that in there. And then we can drag this out like here. Exactly like, and here. And there's your sticky note. So this might be day 1. Edit the subject and the email body, for example, in here. And now you might have something in here where we have sticky note in here. This might be birthday promo emails, for example, and then go into the settings, change the date variable, for example. So this just gives you a good overview, good layout. And again, if you're going to give this to someone else, better explanation, you can make these look really pretty. I mean, all you have to do is really come in here in workflows, and we can see. I'm going to jump back to N8N because I like N8N, but some of these workflows have really big sticky notes, and for like these ones in here, for example, you recreate these now in your high level, which is super cool, super awesome. And likewise, we can add workflow comments in here, which is just your comments to the side on the side, what to do. For example, this is a YouTube sample video. Okay, so have your notes in here on the side and here, action notes. Really cool, really awesome function to do. Okay, so yeah, love it. Awesome, visually appealing, easier for you, easy to give away. So let's get into number 3. Now, next one, the ability to disable a specific node. So it skips through the node. Okay. And I'll show you disable and unlinking, kind of the same thing. But the problem here with the alt builder was like, if we were going to do this and you might want to test this. So for example, if we have a weight in here, or for whatever reason, you want to skip a node, let's say this month, it should not send out the monthly, it should, you have a long sequence where for this month only, it shouldn't send out the weekly updates. And you might want to skip that part for this month, but you don't want to go redo the entire workflow. So, for example, if I don't want to send weight 1 month, I would have to come in here and then delete it. And then if I want to have it next month, come in here and enable it. Not the case in here. Really sure, easy thing to do. I'll just move myself out the way in here. If I don't want this, obviously easiest thing to do would be to unlink them and have that in there. That will work for you. But even easier is if we have this and this in here, and then on here we can select what to do with this node. So open node, select node, copy node, delete node, and we can just actually just disable this one specific node. And actually all we have to do, so even move this around, is hit that button in here and it pauses that node. So its pause is disabled. So really easy, where this will now workflow through here, but disable this node. And if you want to enable it, hit the play button again. So this month, don't want it. Next month, come in, want it. Don't have to rebuild the whole thing. And of course, you can do it with a bunch of them as well. So if we move these up here, we might want to skip this entire sequence for this week. Oops. And you go through and disable these. Okay. So really easy. Interesting enough, I just saw you can't pause this in here. So if you're going to have to do a wait, obviously you're going to have to delete that one. So interesting fact in here that we discovered, but still really great, easy to do rather than rebuild modules in and out. So really cool. And let's get into the next one now. It keeps getting more exciting. So much cool things to do with this. So the next one, and again, this is all to make things easy for you as the automator, the workflow builder, if you're going to give it to someone else, is the ability to manage all your workflows kind of from one screen without switching over. So obviously we can build extra steps, automations, workflows within this workflow. So it's really as easy as this might be sequence 1 for the month. And if we need to add another trigger in here, we can add another trigger or just another action. And we can actually just go through and we can unlink all of this and then move these all through here. And this will be your new workflows, right? So for example, we can have this in through here, have that in here, and this is going to be different workflows within the same workflow. But what we used to have to able to do is if we wanted to switch now to our, let's say you're working in here and you realize that, in my WhatsApp automation bot, I actually forgot to change the email address reply, or the message reply from might be wrong. And they're like, oh no, this is bad. So obviously the saving happens automatically in here, but you have the ability to switch workflows on the side right here. So without exiting, closing, reopening, we can actually just go to this one and it will just load it back in here for us. Obviously a bit of a bigger one. Let's give it a second to load. You'll see this is the old one. Oh, no, sorry, this is the new one. So it switches easy back and forward to it. And again, this one will probably load a little bit quicker because it's smaller, but you can just switch straight from the left hand side of the panel here of outgoing and going out, and it's automatically saving. So it's in there for you. So super easy again to run multiple workflows within here, or if you just need to switch out and onto the side. So awesome one. Let's get into the next part. It's pretty cool as well. So the next one is almost a must learn and master. And once you work at a lot of workflows, you have your two hands. One is going to be the mouse working on things, but you need to learn the keyboard shortcuts that goes with it because it just makes it a lot easier. And they've actually built it into here on the top hand side, keyboard shortcuts, and you can just see what they're all in here and really cool stuff to use. So um, your command key and the shift and S stands for you moving in, plus, minus, and you can see the edits and views in here. Really cool things to do. So the navigation is going to be super important, up, down, and to the side, the tools. So really cool thing to build in here for you to have. So go through them, make sure you learn what they are. Most of them are the basic keyboard shortcuts, but for example, in the other workflow, if I just wanted to go down, I could just move my mouse up and down. This one I got to hold in that space bar to go in. And then normal things apply: Control C, Control V, copy and paste them in, or in here, and obviously just the delete button. So really cool option to use. Keyboard shortcuts and availability is obviously in here. Plus and minus just makes it really easy for you to zoom in as well, rather than going for your mouse and clicking it down the bottom. Super easy option. Real quick, learn it. You want to use it. It's really cool. So let's go into the next one. So if you watch this far, awesome work. Just hang out for a couple of minutes. I'm going to show you how you can get unlimited free high level accounts. So high level accounts for yourself, all of your clients. If you want to have the spare ones, create them all together, have it all built up together. All you have to do is join one community. It's unlimited. You don't have to pay that $497 for an unlimited high level account. Those are SaaS type accounts. So your clients get built. You don't have to rebuild and send them invoices and all those annoying things that happens with running an agency. So keep watching. I'm going to show you that part at the end. We're almost there. A couple of cool things left. So next cool one I want to show you is just the auto organizer. Okay, so this kind of started from make.com. Actually, I think has brought this one out. So let's see how much of this I can undo. I'll obviously undo buttons in the top in here. So I delete keep undoing. Now I can't undo this. So we'll delete this one. It's going to delete the sticky note. Oh, yeah. Delete the node. Yes, delete the node. Control C this, or move it into here and have that, link that up, delete that node. So use the minus key on the keyboard. Then we're going to do some stuff in here, move that out there, use that in here, move that out in there. Space bar, move this along, really a long automation, right? So have it in through here. You can drag this across. Wow, what a mess. All right. So I'm sure there's something somewhere that says really smart rich people work in a mess. Something like that. But remove the keyboard in here. Now you have built all this out. It's all over the show. Your brain has worked one way. However, now we need to tidy this up and make sure it looks really good. And it's got this little function in here, format the tree. And it's just, again, going to have you function it in from left to right. So I'll push that one in here. And there we go. Right. Awesome in here. So not so much for the one-lined automations, but if we're going to switch over in here. So again, the other one I show you this, let's quickly switch over to this button here. Now for this, I'm going to move the odd head over here, and we are going to zoom this one out, and we're going to drag and drop this and make it all over the show. So this is really good formatted in here. But if we're going to start doing things like this, then you can see this really work heavy canvas built in here. It really struggles, and you might be like, what a total mess in here. None of this makes sense. Hit the button and that's organized for you. Okay, so must have a little function, must know how to use it. And again, your keyboard shortcuts displays on the side there. Just hit that number 2, swap it out, make it look really in a more presentable way. So now we can start adding our sticky notes to things. Okay, for example, here, want to have that all in here, the sticky note. It's getting a bit confused. Zoomed in. Whoop, might be all like that. Anyway, you get the idea. Use that. Make your stuff look pretty. Pretty. We're not animals. Let's get into the next one. Almost done. All right, this is a cool one. It kind of goes with having multiple workflows within one canvas. However, this is the multiple trigger one. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So you can have multiple triggers within one workflow. So for example, we have the tag one in here. Now if you click on here and we say add a trigger again, we're going to have the contact tag. Now this blue one here is our default route that it's going to take. Okay, so just bear in mind here for a couple of seconds for me. The tag is once we have a tag, so there's a trigger, okay, not an action, it's a trigger. So if someone adds the appointment booking tag, we're going to hit that save in here, going to have it in here, and it automatically tries lining it up like that. That's okay. We're going to delete this, and from here we can build something out. Okay, so it's going to be a wait again, for example, and it was going to say 1 minute. Okay, so this is a whole nother extra workflow that we can have in here, and you can see it's got the little dotted line in here because it's not the main route. Okay, so this can go in here and can do stuff. Now where this comes in really handy is being able to connect this tag in the middle of a different or of the same workflow. Okay, just keep in mind here for a second, keep concentrating. It's adding this tag in the middle of another workflow. Now if we hit back to this in here, and I'll show you our recipe in here. Now this doesn't have a specific trigger like that, but let's say for example in here our main person might come in and you have a phone call, or your appointment is set manually for another way, and you only want to start the email sequence that we're going to go to this email in here. This might be very specific, so you don't want to add them to the start of the workflow. So what you would have had to do is build out a new workflow with everything from here off to the side and rebuild things like this for a second trigger, or you might have a trigger and a go-to from here. Very easy now. It's just adding that tag in here. So we're going to add a tag in here. For example, again, contact tag. The contact tag, was going to fill this out quickly. So this means triggers can be added into anywhere on the side of a workflow. So come in here and oh, this has made a long line for us. There's the delete button. We can have this trigger halfway through an actual workflow. So have that in for here and like that. So that means your workflow will go per normal, right? If this is a calendar booking one, this will go through a normal, but let's say, for example, halfway through your workflow, you might have something else, or you might have another process where only part of the workflow triggers, halfway of the workflow triggers, and you can add your triggers in anywhere you want, all right? So a really easy way. Again, this is all about making things easy for you. So having multiple actions to start from multiple areas within the same workflow just saves you a lot of time on rebuilding those things. So Hope that part makes sense. Really, really useful in the back end for this if you're going to build bigger workflows and only want one. All right. So really cool option to have. Almost done. Let's go have a look at the last couple of ones. All right. By far, my favorite one, best for last, one I use the most. If you have different segments or even different entire workflows and you want to copy that to another canvas or different workflow in the old terms, you had to start the new workflow over. So if you can imagine a workflow with a trigger, it has some options. And then if you want to have part of another workflow within that workflow, you had to rebuild it, right? There was no other option to drag and cross it in or copy the entire workflow from in to another workflow. Very frustrating. However, finally it's here. One of the most used things I have in here. So for example, if this was very specific to this workflow and I want to copy this awesome sequence because these emails might be really cool. So I have email one is really converting, for example, and if I want to copy this somewhere else, hit that, Control C it, have that in here, switch back to another workflow, the WhatsApp one, for example. Let's say your WhatsApp automation has an option where it eventually grabs the emails. So now we want to send out emails to them. So instead of rebuilding that all in there, we can, for example, come out in here and we can hit this, Control V that in there, and here we go, remove that. Oops. We can remove that function in here and yoink that in there and have that one back in here. By far, my most used option that I use all the time is the ability to copy and paste these over to different workflows. Bunch of errors, that's all right. Mess it up a little bit. But this, finally, all right, the ability to copy and paste over. Really, really great. So, last part, final part, where to get some awesome stuff. So, let me show you this. So, if you're interested in Go HighLevel, AI automations, in@n, make.com, vibe coding, and if you want unlimited high-level accounts instead of paying at $497, I'll leave the link down the bottom. But the AI agency mentorship school program offers all of that. It offers a bunch of other free stuff. As these students are doing really well in here, it's obviously my group. But not only do you get unlimited high-level accounts, you can create as many as you can, and about 123 amazing snapshots ready for you to go, ready for you to launch your business. So it gets very close to an agency in a box. So you'll see about 123 different niches with websites ready to go. Bunch of free stuff you get, plus all the classroom modules. You see, we're mainly focused on voice AI because that's so super hot at the moment. Um, all things high level voice AI systems. Oh, the N8N and make.com modules is totally insane. If you haven't seen the cool stuff I've been doing with N8N, you can see lots of workflows in here. I mean, the training is absolutely insane. The people in the room is insane. We got people doing 30K a month. We got people that just sign up a $200,000 a year one. Like the results just goes crazy, and it's all done with high level. So really cool. And then if you really do not want any of this and you just want some free stuff, of course, I have the free school in here as well, the free resources, classroom, bunch of free stuff in here, but the magic happens in one place. So if you like all these kind of things, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. I'm doing a bunch of high level videos specifically in regards to the updates, because the updates is like Christmas that's coming October for us. So make sure you go check out all the links down the bottom. There's going to be something for you that you're going to find extremely valuable. So let's keep working. Let's keep smashing. Like, follow, subscribe, share, create, have fun, make money with high level and AI. Now's the time. So cool. Speak to you all later.